This information must get to the current administration in office. 4 years ago, during C-19 restrictions, this crime was initiated as illegal pesticides were used on possibly millions of people in the United States. I was a mandated reporter and was poisoned and fell sick in 2020 under DES DDD regulations during the COVID-19 pandemic. I was not only retaliated for reporting the crime of illegal pesticide use after we found out via the pesticide company providing the pesticide label, I was eventually arrested and taken by force from my home for obeying the law and following the mandated obligations under federal laws. The OSHA files show a complete disregard to the law, an admission of attempted cover-up, an admission that pesticides were used illegally. In confusion in their cover-up, they admitted to using the pesticides and claimed that it was okay to use pesticides that are illegal because of the type of building. The Arizona Department of Agriculture specifically handed out citations spawning from my personal report because the laws were broken and fines were given to the pesticide company, Mule Mountain Pest Control, in Sierra Vista, Arizona. OSHA has ignored this fact and claims it's okay to retaliate against mandated reporters for following the federal laws and has tried to throw out my case, which is an absolute crime, and has magnified this cover-up yet again. Billions of dollars are going towards poisoning Americans and covering up the crimes. You're already being exterminated. All these other issues and problems that you're worried about on the internet is vanity. You're talking about things that don't even matter when your own government is not only poisoning you, they're paying to cover up the poison scandals, poison you. It kept years ago, they kept spraying indoors and kept poisoning people. And they are the ones that claimed that countless more people were dying inside care provider homes from respiratory failures. I was a mandated reporter for about 7 years. I liked my job. I was decent at it. I never had an infraction or problem on my record. And I obviously today, God knows what's going to happen next when there's another, because they've already spent millions of dollars to not only poison you, but to cover up and to try to destroy anybody that reports these crimes. I personally called the police, the Sierra Vista Police Department, countless times during these infractions. And because I called the police and did my job well as a mandated reporter, I was taken from my home and arrested under force, illegally, with slandering allegations that I was wearing a bulletproof vest and that I was threatening people. You're already being poisoned, America. People wonder how the government would go against its own people, how the military in the future would enact martial law and kill its own citizens. The Department of Economic Security, the Developmental Disabilities and Adult Protective Services is already justifying the poisoning of millions of Americans right now. They are already killing you. And I have more than enough evidence to prove it. All you have to do is look up your congressman in Arizona or talk to the attorney general. Look up online phone numbers if you're interested in this case. I've personally contacted the attorney general. My last name is Masta. That's Mike Alpha Sierra Tango Alpha, mandated reporter, reporting this crime since the year 2020 because I knew it was going to get covered up, because the cover-up started before I even made a phone call. They immediately tried to justify the poisoning, saying that getting rid of a few ants that never appear was more important than the health and safety of not only disabled people, but of course the care providers that are taking care of them. Juan Ciscomani is the person, the Honorable Congressman of Arizona and Sierra Vista, that I've now contacted today. Hopefully I hear back from him soon, and we can eventually have some sort of closure to this issue, and laws can now be enforced and people can be held accountable. The people that enforced this insane cover-up and literal attempt of mass murder are Linda Gilley, manager of Aries LLC, Laura Orozco of OSHA, and Kelly Janey of Adult Protective Services, just for starters. Again, Laura Orozco, OSHA, Kelly Janey of Adult Protective Services, and Linda Gilley of Aries LLC. Thank you for your time and God bless.